Hello hunters and welcome to the channel. I am Zygosium and today I wanted to give you a quick guide on Zenny and Guild Point farming. To start, what is Zenny and what are Guild Points? Zenny and Guild Points are two different forms of currency in Monster Hunter Wilds, as well as the franchise in general. These two currencies are earned simultaneously by completing quests. The lore of Zenny and Guild Points is essentially this. When a quest is available to complete, a reward of Zenny is offered to entice the hunter. Guild Points are a reward for anything a hunter does or provides to further the knowledge of the guild. The amount of Zenny rewarded upon quest completion is disclosed when accepting the mission, and there are 3 factors that can affect the total amount earned. The reward is divided evenly among all the hunters in the quest, so a reward of 9,000 Zenny would be divided like so. The Zenny amount can also be affected negatively if any non-NPC hunter faints. With 3 carts being the limit, each faint will cut the total reward by a third. Conversely, the Zenny reward can be doubled should you use the daily login bonus lucky voucher prior to beginning the hunt, leading to massive amounts possible like this.
Nice.
The other side of this coin is Guild Points. These will also be rewarded with completed hunts, however the amount is significantly less than Zenny. Guild Points can also be obtained from capturing endemic life or collecting unique gathering materials from the environment. With that out of the way, what are Zenny and Guild Points good for? And that's a great question. Zenny is used to forge and upgrade weapons, armor, talismans, palico equipment. Really any service Gemma offers requires Zenny, and depending on where you are in the game, you will note that some things like upgrading this 8-star rarity armor piece to full is quite expensive. In addition, the provision stockpile offers certain items in unlimited supply that are either primarily found here, such as trap tools and large barrels, or much more common items that could be farmed or gathered in the field, such as potions or dung pods. Purchasing items here may be the quickest or even only way to get them, or saves time either gathering them manually or waiting for the farms to do it. Guild points are used significantly less at this time, but are still important. Primarily, guild points serve as the currency for building or repairing pop-up camps, used to purchase the supplies procured by the support ship, enable you to save investigations, and fund resting, which allows for the changing of time and weather conditions. So if we get Zenny and Guild Points from quests, why do we need a Zenny and Guild Point farm? Man, you hunters are full of great questions today. In reality, you don't. If you are hunting and completing quests like normal, you will passively earn Guild Points and Zenny, and with enough time you will be able to afford anything and everything you want. This guide should act as an optional method for you to supplement your hunts, or if nothing else, give some insight into the systems at work in the game. Now what do I mean by that? I wanted to know if the Zenny and Guild Points earned in quests was more or less efficient than my own Zenny and Guild Point farming methods. To create a baseline to test from, I fought a 5-star difficulty tempered Arkveld, as this may, in fact, be the most fought monster in the game at this time. Using my preferred weapon, the lance, and fighting him in the Wounded Hollow, I was able to beat him in 6 minutes, 41 seconds. Not too shabby of a time for me, but it was not a perfect run. Completing this fight, I now know that in optimal conditions, playing a little sloppy, I can roughly earn 32,000 Zenny and 740 guild points in 6 minutes 30 seconds, rounding down. So on to testing. Can I achieve more Zenny and or more guild points in the same amount of time using a different method? The quick answer is yes, and I will show you how I achieved both. Before we continue, I should put a disclaimer, all of these things I talk about are optional, and it was more or less a fun little experiment to see if there was an alternative or superior method to gain these currencies. I also want to make it clear that these numbers are what I can reasonably achieve. These methods for farming are reversely proportional to how good your hunt times are. If you can speedrun monsters, then these farming methods are significantly less effective, and if you are slow at hunting, these methods will be much more profitable. Prior to the 1.011 update, both of these farms were conjoined in the method we will discuss, gold and platinum fishing. While you will still earn guild points this way, this specific farm is more useful for Zenny, and we will cover a different method for guild points afterward. In Area 8 of the Scarlet Forest, the underground lake, we have 2 fishing locations that can fill with 3 types of aquatic life: Goldenfish, Platinumfish, and the 2 types of Escunites. The first 2 fish listed are important because with every catch you will receive 1 or 3 scales. If sold, the value of 1 golden scale is 1,000 Zenny and 1 platinum scale is 2,000. These are the minimum amounts each of these fish is worth, with the max being 3 and 6,000, respectively. There is also a strategy when it comes to fishing these quickly. Don't use your rod. Your capture net will still earn you the trade-in items, and with this next technique you can fish even faster. First, be sure your capture net is equipped. Next, crouch, which is using the evade button without moving. Aim your net where you want it to go and fire it. Once you have hit the fish, but before the net sinks low and retracts automatically, uncrouch. This will skip the normal animation and allow you to fire your net again in quick succession. Be sure to crouch again before firing to be able to skip the animation again. The rhythm should be crouch, catch, stand, crouch again. Using this strategy, I farmed for roughly 6 minutes and 30 seconds by fast traveling from Camp 8, where I caught the fish, to Camp 3, where more golden fish and the smaller golden fry can appear. Their scales are worth 500 a pop. By traveling to and from these 2 camps, the aquatic life replenishes. I also did this in the daytime during the time of plenty, as that is when I believe the most fish can be found. After time was up, I traveled back to the provision stockpile, and using the convenient sell all trade-in materials option, we can see that I made 92,500 Zenny. Let that sink in. In the same amount of time to fight tempered Arkveld, I made almost triple the Zenny, meaning if I had used the lucky voucher when I fought the Arkveld, I still would have made 42% more by fishing. This system could be made even more powerful if the fishing spot in Camp 16 is used, as gold and platinum fish can also spawn there. As stated previously, this method used to also work for guild points, as these fish used to be worth 50 and 100 guild points for gold or platinum fish respectively. With the 1.011 update, Capcom lowered the rates to 10 and 20 points, making this no longer an effective method for farming guild points. However, looking at all the endemic and aquatic life, and at the guild points provided for each capture, there are a couple of endemics that stand out. My process was this. Starting with the area that has the most endemics, the Scarlet Forest, we eliminate any that cannot be found here or those that have point values at 10 or lower. Next, we eliminate the ones that can't be found in the daytime during the plenty, or are exceedingly rare. Looking at the list now, I tried 2 methods. The first was Gastronome tuna fishing. At a whopping 200 points per catch, if you can catch at least 4 in the 6.5 minute time limit, you are beating the Arkveld benchmark. So I tested this, as I have become well acquainted with the fishing minigame, and managed to catch 4 in just under 5 minutes. This would mean in a perfect world I could have snagged 1 or 2 more within the time limit for a total of 1,000 to 1,200 guild points. However, I felt there was a better method to farming guild points. When I looked at my spreadsheet again, 3 endemic life stood out as being fairly common and relatively high value: the Jewel Scarab, the Regal Jewel Scarab, and the Gravid Bowfin. At 20, 50, and 50 points each, these 3 are my targets. On the map, the X's denote the rough locations of trees where the scarabs can be found. The O's are the locations where the Gravid Bowfin can spawn in the shallow water. And with these locations marked, we can see a decent path to achieve the maximum encounters. Starting with resetting the day, we change the time to daytime plenty, and we fast travel to the Woodwood hideout as every hunter has this location unlocked. We begin the process of running through the forest, not so elegantly, capturing all the scarabs we see. I will let the video play out so you can see the path I took. Here, I thought the fish I saw was the Gravid Bowfin, but only 5 points for the virid version instead. The run seemed fairly unlucky with only 2 Regal Jewel Scarabs up to this point, however the last leg was incredibly fruitful. On just the last 2 trees alone, 700 points were obtained for a grand total of 1,805 points. Again, collecting all the scarabs and having to double or even triple net on some trees, I was able to get almost 2.5 times more points from this method than the Arkveld fight. And the 6.5 minutes also accounts for releasing them using the new Endemic life checking function, should you not want to keep them. All in all, the farming methods work better than hunting in my case, with some considerations to note. Number 1. I earn no monster parts through farming. The Zenny comparison is purely comparing the Zenny earned for quest completion and does not take into account the RNG for parts earned from the hunt and selling them. If you are selling monster parts when completing the quest, you will most likely earn more from hunting than from the Zenny Farm. Number 2. Both of these methods can fluctuate in efficacy depending on how fast you are at hunting, as well as how lucky you are in spawns for the endemics. I ran another test of the endemic life route and got just over 2,000 points because of RNG. 4 Gravid Bowfins spawned in, which gave an extra bump in guild points. Number 3. The fight with Arkveld was in the arena where he was unable to limp away, providing a much faster clear time than I would manage in other areas, making this hunt, as compared to others, fairly quick. Again, this means that the farming methods we discussed would most likely be even more effective for me if I used an Arkveld investigation in, say, Wyveria, where travel time would add massively to the completion time. I hope you enjoyed this farming guide, and let me know in the comments if you use these or if you have another method that works. I will be releasing a live react video and analysis of the title update 2 reveal coming June 26th, tomorrow, and hope to see you all in the wilds when the next title update drops. If this video helped you or you otherwise enjoyed it, consider giving me a like. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe and hit the notification bell for future updates. And a quick shout out to the subscribers I gained in this first month of making these videos. I appreciate all of you. If my videos make one person smile or help one player, then it's worth it. Have fun farming, hunters! Goodbye for now, but not for long.